What is something that you'll get a lot of hate for if you say it out loud?
That a lot of parents out there regret having kids.
Hey y'all, and welcome back to my channel. I am the Sovereign Woman. If you're new here, welcome. And if you have been a long-time supporter, I want to take this time to thank you for being a long-time supporter. And we'll get right into it, shall we? Now, this video that I'm about to show you guys is about regretful mothers. There are a lot of mothers who secretly regret motherhood. Now, a lot of women will come out and they will tell you that they, if they could do it all over again, they would not have children. They love their kids and all of that, but if they could do it over, they would. And then there are a lot of mothers who feel that way, but they'll never admit it. I'm going to kick off this video first, finishing the clip that you guys saw in the very beginning, and then after that one, I'm going to insert a clip of myself, a video that I did earlier this year, talking about the 3 types of mothers. And I always say every mother on the planet falls into one of these 3 categories. Okay, some of you may have seen this video. If you haven't, it'll give you something to think about. The truth is that motherhood is not for everybody. And one of the things that I do as a child-free woman is I want to be a voice and maybe even an advocate for the women who don't want to be a mother, but they're not as comfortable coming out saying it as I am, and women like me in this child-free space. On all social platforms, we are coming out. It was very taboo to talk about having regret back in the day. Women just had to suffer in silence, basically. And they had to do everything with a smile on their face and pretend like they were happy and pretend like everything was the way people told them it would be. I think it's very important, though, that we be an example for younger women coming up and showing them all sides of motherhood. Not just the glitz and the glamour that they try to make it seem like on TV and all the movies, and every story ends happily ever after. You get married, you have the kids, you ride off into the sunset with somebody, with your 2.5 kids and your happy family. That's not the reality for most people, and it's definitely not the reality for most women, seeing as though women are typically the ones that are stuck raising kids. And that regret sometimes has a lot to do with the fact that a lot of women don't have a village. They don't have a partner. We talk about married single mothers, right? You may be married and you may be a mother, but you're single, basically. You have a husband, but he's not helping you. And it makes motherhood a lot harder, okay? So I'm going to come back with the rest of my commentary in between the videos like I usually do. But that's it. We'll get right into it.
What is something that you'll get a lot of hate for if you say it out loud?
That a lot of parents out there regret having kids. A lot of women have been sold on the idea that being a mother is everything, and that if you don't have kids, then what good are you? And then once they have kids, it's not all flowers and roses like they've been told. Nobody tells the truth about the real cost in having kids. Babies are born sick and they have ailments. Partners can't handle it and they bail. And then it's a great disappointment that the child grows up to be something totally different than the idea that you have in your head. And once the resentment sets in, they tend to lash out at people who chose not to have children, mostly out of jealousy because they have the freedom to do things while you still have a child attached to your hip. So if you're considering having kids, think long and hard, because having a child is a lifelong commitment. It doesn't end when the kid turns 18. It lasts a lifetime.
Every parent on the planet falls into one of these 3 categories. I did a video about this on my YouTube channel back in the summer of 23, right? But because of all the comments I keep getting on here talking about how I'm going to regret my decision, we need to talk about all the parents who regret their decisions. They're all over social media now. It's becoming more and more acceptable to talk about their regrets. But don't worry. If you are a parent, you fall into one of these three categories without a shadow of a doubt. So first, we have category A, the parent who absolutely, we're going to just talk about mothers for the sake of this video, because a lot of fathers are really not that involved in their kids' lives, so they don't really count in this video. The mothers who absolutely enjoy motherhood. They don't whoop their kids, they don't beat their kids, they don't yell at their kids, they don't make their kids feel bad about themselves. They take all the challenges with a smile, with a grain of salt. You know, even when it gets challenging, they just love being a mother. It is like the best thing that's ever happened to them. Then you got category B, the parents who absolutely, the mothers who regret motherhood. They absolutely regret motherhood. They love their kids. They would do anything for their kids. They will die for their kids. They can't imagine not having their kids in their lives now that they're here. But if they had to do it all over again, if they could change the person or the people that they had kids with, if they could change the timing of when they had kids, if they could change anything about it, having kids, period, many of them would choose not to. And the key component in this category is that they will admit it to you. Now, category 3 is the exact same as category 2, except they won't admit it. In my personal opinion, the vast majority of the population, and I'm talking like 80-something, high 80 percentile, in my opinion, falls into category 3. The vast majority of you guys will never admit your regret. Now, like I said, here on TikTok, on all the websites, all of these social media forums, there are more and more and more women coming out talking about their regret. So it's not as taboo as it used to be, because you couldn't admit this stuff back in the day. But now more and more women are talking about this. So because we know that there are so many parents, mothers out there who regret their kids, why do y'all keep telling child-free people that we're going to regret not having them, when there are so many of them who regret having them? And I tell people all the time, I would much rather regret not having kids than to regret having them. Because if I don't have them, the only person I'm hurting is myself. If I have them, I'm hurting them. I'm not even hurting myself if I have them. I mean, I am, but I'm not. I'm actually hurt. They're going to be the ones to suffer the most. So I would much rather not put a child through that. But like I said, the vast majority of the population falls in category 3. And the smallest amount of the population, in my opinion, less than like 7%, falls in category 1. So there's my take on that. Stop telling child-free women that we're going to regret our decision when there are so many mothers out there who are miserable every day, all day, every day, and they regret having their children.
I'm going to say something that will make some people upset. I think we need to normalize regretting having your children. I'm a therapist and I work with kids, teens, young adults, as well as parents. And there are so many parents who have been vulnerable enough with me in their therapy sessions to admit that they regret having their children. Now, before you shame those parents, these are really, really good parents. Now, these aren't all parents that I work with. It's just an emotion that does come up in therapy that I don't think really gets talked about, because if they were to say some of these words out loud or to other people, they would get shamed for it. And don't get me wrong, these are amazing parents. They're great parents. They love their children. They would do anything for their children. They would never give their children up. But it's just talking about the emotion of regretting having them.
Talk a little bit about your journey, your experience as a mother that has led you to the conclusion of like,
I love my sons who are adults, 28 and 33. However, I have not enjoyed motherhood. So as we talked about real quick on our live, I was like, My experience as a mom has not been easy. So first of all, I started out as a teen mom. That's difficult in itself. My son's father never really played a part in his life. We were both in high school, so he went on to live his life and move around the cabin, and I had to shift my life. Then I got married. I was in an abusive relationship and then got a divorce. So I have experienced so many different things as a mom that have not been joyous experiences for me. So, like I said, there are some joyous moments. However, it has been very, very difficult for me. And funny enough, it's been harder having adult children than it has been when they were younger.
I consider myself someone that stands 10 toes down on the fact that I regret motherhood. It's like I don't regret my daughter, I regret the role.
I think people are rubbed the wrong way about it because most moms feel that way.
Yeah.
And you're not allowed to say it.
There is an anxiety that I have developed having a child that never lived in me before at all. The fear of even when she's not with me and I don't have to be selfless, I'm still thinking about, is somebody going to hurt her? Is a fucking earthquake gonna happen? A mother is like who I am, like at my core, and because of that, it consumes a lot of my thoughts, and I fucking hate that.
I need space from my child in order to be a good parent. I can play as much as a 34-year-old woman can play.
Yeah.
But feeling guilty about that too. I chose to be a mother. You're supposed to love every part.
One day she's not going to want to play with you.
She's not going to want to play. You're going to wish you played. No, I won't.
Now, when she was speaking about the anxiety that she never had before, and then she had kids and now she has all this anxiety, I felt that in my core. I'm an empath, and I also overthink. Okay, that is something that I know I am fully aware of about myself. I overanalyze everything. While some people will try to make it seem like overanalyzing is a bad thing, I think it could be if it's done in a way that it is disrupting your peace and disrupting your everyday life. I agree it could be a problem. But in my case, I'll never look at it as a bad thing because me overanalyzing is what has kept me out of situations like this. Because I actually take the time to really think about how something is going to affect me. And when I make decisions, I don't typically make them on a whim. I make them in that moment, but also thinking about the future. How is this going to affect me tomorrow? How would this affect me a year from now? How is this going to affect me 2 years, 5 years, 10 years down the road, right? I know that I don't like worrying because they give me wrinkles, and I don't want wrinkles right now. I'll take the wrinkles later, right? But not right now. Right now ain't the time. You know, I don't like worrying though. I don't like feeling helpless. I don't like feeling like I'm not in control of something. And we can't control a lot in this life. The only thing we can control is ourselves and the things that we do and the way that we react to things. But we can't control shit. And that alone is enough for me to say no to motherhood. Is the fact that I can't keep them safe 24/7. I'm not going to know what decisions they're going to make when they become teenagers or when they become adults. I don't know what's going to happen. Some people will see that and say, no, that's bad. You shouldn't think that way. But like I said, there's a lot of parents out there who didn't think the way that I'm thinking now. And their whole lives are a regret. Either because their kids were unalived by someone, or maybe they died from cancer, or whatever it was, something happened. You know, there's a lot of parents with kids who are on drugs and they couldn't kick the habit. They haven't kicked the habit. Many of them never will, right? There's so many things you have to worry about. Knowing that you brought kids here, you forced them into existence, and then knowing that you can't do anything about the choices that they make or what someone else's kid will do to your kid. And I'm saying whether they're children or adults, right? You know, think about the mothers who've had daughters and they were all unalived by the loves of their lives. Like I always say, these women who are taken from this earth early are typically taken by a husband, a baby daddy, or a boyfriend. No mother could really ever anticipate that when you give birth to your kid. So I understand that anxiety. It's not something that I would ever want to live with, and that is one of the top reasons why I chose to forego motherhood.
You know, I really feel for people that really don't have like a real strong village. Like, this shit is not fucking easy. Like, it's hard enough motherfuckers gotta work every fucking day. But to have a child, and then you gotta work, and then you gotta just stay afloat. Like, I can't make this up. Like, whoever that has no children, please. And if you want some, please stop the want. Because that shit gets so out of pocket sometimes to the point where it's just like, why? Like, I don't know how y'all gonna come to me about this, but it's just like, why couldn't I be the woman that couldn't have kids? Because if I would have knew that my journey was gonna be like this, I would have just rather wanted than to have. Like, this shit ain't cool. Like, at times, like, and then when you single, it's so disgusting. Like, why? I just don't understand why men just be out here dropping these kids off on women, and then y'all just think that we supposed to just do it all, like fucking all, like. It's just not cool, man. Like, for real. I fucking hate it here. I fucking hate it here. Like, I really wish that I couldn't have did it. Like, if I would have known, like, and then I really hate too that I had old school parents where it was like, oh, you gotta get married and then, you know, have kids. Even in my fucking marriage, like, this shit is a scam. Like, all this shit is a fucking scam. Like, kudos to you bitches that found a man that'll never leave you, that'll never leave you out here. But this other shit, it be so draining. It's so fucking draining. Even when you trying to make life just more comfortable where you are just okay. Like, the shit's not okay. The shit's not okay. And I don't come on social media for no fucking attention, but this shit is trash. Like, this shit is fucking trash, and I just hate it so fucking much. If I could do it all over again, I probably would have just did what the fucking doctor told me to do, and that was to get an abortion.
So this last clip of this woman was very difficult for me to watch. When I first came across it on TikTok, it was hard for me to watch at first. And it was because I kind of felt where she was coming from. Now, it's not to say that I know exactly what she's feeling, because I'm not a mother, but I'm an empath. And for those of you who don't know, empath is, you know, someone who can feel other people's pain almost as much as they can, as if like I was going through it myself. Also, I grew up around a lot of women that were like that and that had those thoughts and emotions. And it's so sad because having kids is such a permanent choice. There's nothing you can do once you make that decision. You can't undo it. And you have to find ways to live with it. I will say for some women, those feelings will get better for some women. But for some women, they don't. They just don't. And you never know which one of those women you're going to be. You can go to counseling, you can get therapy, you can read books, you can join help groups and support groups. But you still never know how you're going to be affected in the long run by these situations, which is why it is so very important for me and other child-free women who have taken on this role of social media auntie or whatever you want to call us, to point out how permanent of a decision being a mother is, the fact that those are your babies. I'm going to say this in every one of these videos because I'm going to turn this into a series, right? Those are your babies. That man could be there or he may not. He could die. He could leave. He could go off to war and never come home. He could end up in prison. You don't know. Whatever happens to that man is irrelevant. Those are your babies. And you are going to be the one stuck with those kids. And you need to know, especially with the state of the economy and the way the world is headed. We don't know what's going to happen in January when Trump is sworn in. Some people are saying that they don't know if that's even going to happen because some stuff may transpire before that. I'm not going to get into that. But the way things are going now, it's not looking up in the future, which I can add that to one of my 3,000 reasons why I won't be having children, right? But I really want young ladies to know most men don't want to be fathers. Most men just want to use your body as a cum receptacle. No one's going to tell you this the way that I'm telling you because everybody wants to sugarcoat this and everybody wants to not all men you to death. The men and the women. There's pick-me women. It's not all men. It's not all men, right? That's all they're going to do. And this is why and how these women get okey-doked into single motherhood. Get okey-doked into doing this by themselves. You're either going to be a single mother, a married single mother, or a divorced single mother. Okay? Take your choice on which one you want to be. But you're going to be one or 9 times out of 10, and it just is what it is. Don't let people decide for you. This is a very personal decision that you need to make on your own. And you need to be financially stable, mentally stable, emotionally stable, and all of that. Because otherwise you're going to find yourself either getting on social media like some of these women and complaining about your regret, or sitting somewhere suffering in silence. Either way, you'll be suffering. And you don't necessarily have to go through this. Having children is one of those things that is a choice that it's unnecessary stress. It's not something that you have to go through. It's something that you choose. And once you choose it, there's no way out. Leave your comments below. Let me know what you guys think. This will be a series. Part 2 will be coming soon. But I will turn this into a series. Leave your comments below. If you have not hit the subscribe button, please do. It definitely helps my channel, and it helps YouTube to push my videos out into the algorithm. I want to gain more followers, typically younger women, because I want to get a hold of them to show them all sides of motherhood before they make that decision to either have kids or choose not to. It's a personal choice. Nobody has the right to tell you what to do, but it is important that you know what you're getting yourselves into. Leave your comments below, and I'll check you guys in the next video.
All together, girls. 1, 2, 3. Fuck these men on the internet. They don't know what they want, but they will see what they can get. They'll go and waste your one and only precious life while pretending not to have a full receding hairline. So keep your eyes on his hairline and your hand on your drink. For all you know, he is a psychopath. He'll leave you on red, and he won't care if you're dead. And the psychics on TikTok are wrong.